In an effort to get people to stop turning up at Nintendo's corporate headquarters, they opened Super Nintendo World in Universal Studios Osaka and the Nintendo Museum in Kyoto. Each acts as a sort of vlogger honey trap, allowing employees to do a full day's work at the office without being accosted by a 45-year-old in a Yoshi costume. But which is best? I don't know, viewer. I'm like you, I'm clueless. But luckily, I've got two Nintendo experts with me today to help settle this. Please welcome Brian and Sean.
Hello.
Hi.
I thought if I did this video myself, it would just be too
cynical?
Too cynical, or like, I'd be like someone's father reacting to these things. Like, oh yes, oh that was fine, but I need people who actually truly care about this children's rubbish.
Yeah.
All three of us attended both the Nintendo Museum and Super Nintendo World.
Yeah.
Now, I'll say right at the top, we attended these before the Donkey Kong section opened, meaning this video is out of date as you watch and is worthless.
This is a snapshot of a really interesting part of history where people knew about Donkey Kong Land but couldn't go there. So it's...
Yeah.
Specifically, this video is about, was the Super Nintendo World section at Universal better than the Nintendo Museum before the Donkey Kong section opened? That's what this video is.
The Nintendo Museum had only been open about 4 or 5 weeks by the time we all would have went in early November. But we all would have booked our tickets around the same time during that lottery draw. Now, this lottery draw is not that you win a ticket, you just win an opportunity to pay for a ticket.
Yeah.
But to go in, you have to submit like an avatar of your Mii. I actually do want to get into that. Sorry, just for a sec. My Mii, I guess your Mii's were probably all created around December 2006.
Yes.
Yeah.
My Mii ticket certainly has a lot more hair than I do in person. And they said that on the way in. They said, you've gone bald. And I said, arigato.
When I got my Mii card and they looked at it, they went, haha, so funny. And I was like, that's
my face.
It's just my face.
That's just a Western face, buddy. Why are you making fun of?
Haha, so funny.
I did notice on the email the amount of rules and regulations and warnings about how you're going to behave.
Yeah. No cosplaying. Because people do dress up for theme parks, but this is a fucking museum and you will respect the boundaries.
I thought the no costume thing was just like a flat out way to say, don't show up as sexy Mario. Don't show up as sexy anything.
Yeah.
You're not posing here sexy. Nobody's to look sexy at the Nintendo Museum, and nobody did.
Yeah.
Nobody did, that's true.
Yeah.
I did like with the Nintendo Museum that it was hard to get into because they allow a certain amount of people in and there is space and breathing room for everyone.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
The whole plaza was very pleasant and quiet.
Oh, it was lovely. The nice tiling is done with the sprite art.
Yeah.
And they have the burger area.
Like technically you could go and get a burger straight away.
Oh, you
but
could.
It's not meant to be the experience. And I did see people go into the burger place. I think they just wandered in by accident. And seeing the staff being like, don't get a burger now. Go.
I want a pre-museum burger and a post-museum burger.
Did you guys get a burger?
We got it after.
I got a burger.
Yeah, they were good.
They were all right.
I was really happy with my burger. It hit the spot.
If your me was rude, you could be denied.
Like if you had a Hitler me or something like that.
Also like a copyright something, because I guess they don't want to print
Yeah.
Hank Hill.
It was very easy to do like a RoboCop me back in the day.
I mean, a lot of people have the Satoru Iwata me as their thing. Like, would they be like, he's back? You made a museum without me.
God, he's gone nearly 10 years.
I just not get it. It's like,
That's really sad. A man died.
yeah, a man's died.
Was there any Iwata stuff in the museum?
This is one of my issues with the Nintendo Museum is that it was very like Miyamoto's built this from the ground up.
It definitely was.
Like you go in and on the left,
the
there's
first
one
thing.
signature and it's just Miyamoto, and the staff are like, "Look, it's Miyamoto's signature." I don't think a single name is credited.
It's kind of the Walt Disney thing.
Yeah.
But you'd think that people wouldn't do that anymore because everyone's kind of wise to the idea that all these things aren't done by one
You
person.
can't romanticize a single person like that. My kind of biggest disappointment was the lack of Mario Mania from the early 90s, because there was a lot of like physical merchandise of like the board games, because Nintendo is a company that's like 130 years old, something like
And
that.
the guns.
And the
which were
guns.
a pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
Nintendo made so many guns.
Yeah. I did like when they would license out merch from like Disney, so they'd have like Mickey Mouse playing cards.
I was surprised to see that in there. There was a bunch of Disney stuff, and there was Sora as well.
And they had some of their competitor to Lego. What is it? N&B? Is that the name of their Lego competitor?
Yeah.
Because it makes that cameo in Super Mario Land 2.
Yeah. But yeah, when it came to like interesting tidbits, it was mostly focused on the stuff they did before games, like, you know, the
claw
super
grabber,
hand or
yeah.
whatever, the ultra hand.
Yeah.
And then beyond that, once they got to like the games part of it, they seemed to stick to like whatever's just the most official stuff. Not even, you didn't even see a one egg please.
No.
So like my one egg please egg cups are more of a museum piece than some of the stuff you saw in there.
I think it would be great to have a little section that's like, here's really mad international stuff, particularly
Absolutely.
that 90s stuff.
Yeah, because Mario was bigger than Mickey Mouse at one point. He was a bigger household name.
if you've lived in Japan all your life, so much of that stuff you probably haven't seen. And it would be fascinating in a look at how unusually they treated
This
Mario
is how the
in-
West interpreted Mario. This is how, like, maybe South America, because South America game scene is so counterfeit and kind of DIY as well. There's loads of aspects of this kind of recognizable mascot that's been interpreted in different ways.
Wake up! It's time to leave Dreamland!
I was half and half with that section of the museum because I was enjoying it and, you know, interested, but there was a part of my brain that was whispering, you're looking at boxes. You're looking at video game boxes.
Yeah.
And is that what you've...
And the thing is, like, we had been there in Japan for like a week and a half already.
Yeah, at that point we did
and
so
we
many
had
retro
gone
game
to a
shops.
lot of surugayas and stuff where you could, which were basically like
I
mini
was
museums.
holding that box.
Have so many showcase displays where you could buy it too, buddy, if you're that stupid.
Yeah.
I love the corner,
The prototype.
the prototype corner.
Yeah.
And like they had extra signs there going, do not take photos of this.
I want to rewind a little bit to like the first thing that happens when you actually go into the exhibit, where you're queuing up and then there's the lady who tells you, don't do this, don't do this, don't do that.
Yeah.
But the bit where you're on the escalator going up and it's all completely dark and they're just playing the startup sounds from every console.
Yes.
What a way to like indoctrinate you into a cult and be like, fucking yes, man, Nintendo's the best thing in the world. Like I was like, even like the Wii U sound happened, I was like, getting emotional about the Wii U
Yeah.
noise. I was like, yes,
Take me back to
take me back.
the halcyon days. Don't dilly-dally in the gift shop. Grab the thing that you want and get out of there. Then go to the big controllers and the fun section
Yeah.
and do all that. The last thing you want to do is go look at them boxes because they're not going anywhere.
Yeah. There's
Then
no
have
queue
a
for that.
burger.
Then have a burger. And if you want to have a burger and come back, do that.
Then
But-
go back to the gift shop afterwards if you want, but you know, grab that thing.
So what thing did you miss out on?
well, I kind of went to the Nintendo Museum because I wanted the Nintendo 64 cushion.
And you saw it when you went in.
And I picked it up and I said, this is brilliant. Can't wait to come back and get this. And I did the whole museum. And it was funny. There was even a sign that said, like, the following items are sold out. And that was blank when we showed up. So we're like, okay, there's items that sell out. But I just, part of my brain was like, no one's getting the cushion.
Yeah, like I like
No
like,
one's
yeah, because
stupid enough to
the day
buy
I
it.
went there, which was only a couple, like for me it wasn't even a week before.
Yeah.
They had about 3 or 4 of them, so I was like, oh, they got more in the
Yeah.
back.
Anyway, well, I don't have one, so I'm not going to be
Doesn't
doing
matter.
that.
Now, the big controllers, do you want to tell it, Sean, or should I?
Well, I don't know what you're going to...
So,
Oh, yeah.
we were in the queue for the N64 big controller, which is definitely, you can even tell from the way they have it set up, that's the main attraction.
Yeah.
You were originally going to play with Sinead.
Yeah.
You were making the game plan in the queue.
Yeah, you've got 60 seconds. It's like level 1, get 100 coins.
Yeah.
Or get a star. Level 2, swamp boss fight.
Yes.
And then it was fight Bowser. But like, you've got a timer. So you do have to go in with we're going to do
So
this.
you were explaining to Sinead how this was going to go down, and you were stressing her out,
Yeah.
and she was like, I don't actually want to play because this is... Sean was so serious about winning this.
You can't look like an idiot in front of everyone.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'll do it. I'll play it with Sean. And I feel I let you down.
Yeah.
And it's funny, I was looking at the footage. In my memory, when I turned to look at you when the timer ran out, I remember you looking like you were angry. But when I watched the footage, you weren't. But it's just, I felt it
You're
so
projecting.
much. It's like Sean's furious.
You're getting shamed.
But then, it did feel cruel to be playing Mario 64 and like 2 minutes beforehand, Owen's going like, "What does B do again? Do I need to press B?" And I was like,
punching.
And I was like, you don't need to press B. And then like last minute, I was like, "You're gonna need to press B when we fight Bowser. Though. Because we have to get the tail."
I mean, I never owned an N64.
What?
I probably should have said that when we were queuing up.
Anyway, it was stressful for everybody, and also in the queue, we were seeing people pull off that trick where when Thwomp's about to come down, you jump and press Z at the same time, so you just phase through him and then instantly.
Oh, yeah,
And seeing people pulling off tricks like
Swish.
that, and I knew, well, I'm probably not going to be pulling off any like speed run.
Yeah. That was actually one thing that was not a letdown, but when I was imagining going to the Nintendo Museum, I just didn't consider the fact that there's going to be loads of people there. And I thought the giant Nintendo 64 controller thing was going to be like run around the big field outside the castle and just play for a while and just press the button. I thought it was just going to be fucking
Sean,
about.
this is Japan. They
Yeah.
like queuing.
Yeah, no, it had to be like, do you play the game and go.
Yeah. I did like the rule that you had your entry card with your me on it, but it had 10 coins and that was your quota for playing
Yeah.
games. And so some games would cost 1 coin, some would cost 2. There was that shooting game that cost like 5 coins.
Yeah, we didn't do it.
Yeah, same. But the fact that that would kind of move you along and you wouldn't dilly-dally that much. But
Yeah.
we did make sure to spend all 10 coins.
Did you have a good time at the Ultra Hand game where you have to grab the stuff?
I thought it was only okay. I love the batting cages because I did that twice.
Yeah.
I thought that was so much fun.
Owen had
And
a
I
really
lo-
good time with the Ultra Hand
Yeah.
one.
I really, really like the Game & Watch games, and I love the Love Tester. That was so funny.
I don't doubt for a moment that the 10 coin spend limit on your fun is something that a lot of people will be grousing about. But I think it is for the best because
it's
it just means
plenty
people
of
will-
coins technically because there's only like 5 options with the games.
And it does mean people will leave
Yeah.
instead of just staying there all day because like, well, I have to do everything.
Now, there was one area downstairs that I thought was kind of lame, and it was literally just like NES minis or SNES
Yeah.
minis, and you would just sit down and you would just play like a 1-minute demo of a game.
But I was thinking though, yeah, because that would be a waste of coins for
Yeah.
gamers like us. But I was thinking actually that is probably pretty clever because I would say there's a huge percentage of people going
who were just casual.
who are just like families and stuff that don't, and be like, oh look, remember this, and they wouldn't have consoles in their house maybe.
No, they wouldn't. Yeah.
Because I remember one thing that was quite sweet was I was in the queue for just Super Mario 1 on the NES controller, and there was like 3 old people. They were definitely like in their early 70s that were just like, look,
They were
it's
there for
Mario.
the cards.
Yeah.
They were there for the guns.
But they were,
and the cards.
and like they were just so excited to play Mario 1, and
Yeah.
like I think that section is for people who like used to play games and maybe fell out of it, and this is kind of like a remember video games.
It's just
kind of
a
thing.
big funny novelty,
Yeah.
and their nostalgia is somewhere else, like fishing or
Because like
something
it would
normal.
it would be weird if you were going to check out the Nintendo Museum as like a person who's not into games anymore, but as like remember this, and the only thing you could interact with was giant controllers, and then they'd be like, oh, I thought I could.
It also like it stops people who love games from complaining about the fact that this is barely about games at all.
Yeah.
Like batting cages,
Yeah.
Wiggly Six, love testers. I mean, you know how much gamers hate love testers.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Beer.
Yeah, there's no love there.
No, I really did like using the Ultra Hand thing when after using it for, I was like, this design is quite clever, but then I realized maybe the consistency of it working is very good. Oh, I had to go through 3.
I did not like the string pulley build. I didn't have the feedback that I was satisfied
They
with.
kept handing me others
Yeah,
because it
yeah.
just wasn't happening.
The staff there are great.
Yeah, I think it was a combination of them not working well and me being just fucking clueless.
Because afterwards in the gift
It's like
shop,
half and half.
because in the gift shop you could buy that grabber, and
I
I
was
picked it
thinking
up
about
and
it.
I saw the box, I saw the graphic, and I was like, that's so cool. But then in my head I was like, Brian, you have a grabber at home in the garden for picking up rubbish that you bought in Lidl for €2, like a
And it
normal
works out
person.
much better as
like
well.
everybody has those little grabbers.
It's not enough. Yeah.
yeah, like would you just use that, buddy?
From the greys of Nintendo Museum to the primary colors of Super Nintendo World.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I would summarize the vibe of each. I mean, the Nintendo Museum is by design, it's very grey.
It's a stoic place.
It's grown up and boring in the right way.
Yeah.
Super Nintendo World is very much family,
It's-
kids,
So
It's noise.
noise,
it's not
crowds.
like, I think the best part of going to Super Nintendo World is that first 10 seconds when you get in
Yeah.
and your eyes are just overwhelmed by
Now, Sean,
You are leaving reality behind.
the excitement starts a little bit before that. I'm going to have to bring you back, boys.
Okay.
As you go towards Super Nintendo World, staff direct you away from Water World.
Oh yeah, they do.
So that you don't accidentally go into Water
Yeah,
World.
I-
and then you go down the magic pipe. Definitely the highlight is just the reveal of it. And I had seen images of it and
Yeah,
some
same.
footage of it. But being there, that initial wow factor, I was amazed.
It's really cool seeing the portraits in person, the ones that if you look from different angles,
Oh, yeah.
reveal a different image.
The effect of coins rotating is so easy to do, but like how they're placed, how every single coin in the entire place is spinning at like a simultaneous speed.
And has that material, has that like foil edge that it catches the light just right. So it does have that glisten.
So you're looking at things and it feels like you're looking through like AR goggles and things aren't actually there and you're like, no, that yokes.
Yeah, you do have to appreciate all of these things are not real, but capturing the same colors and textures of that in reality, that's a huge undertaking. And the fact that they got that right, like the way that Piranha Plant has that right squishiness. Shy Guy looks like he's the right material and all that.
Because the Koopa Troopas and Goombas, I think they are walking properly profile. I know usually in the games there's a slight 3/4 front to them.
We went on a really clear sunny day where there was absolutely no clouds in the sky, so the sky was just blue, not even a gradient.
Just a blue sky card.
So everything just looked fake. It
I
was.
do wonder how that place looks in the rain, or just like on a crappy day.
Yeah, because it's kind of designed like a bowl where you walk in and it's level down. It has like a tier, and you can see across from you, but down below is kind of a stage area.
I thought that was really clever. That it's basically a bowl in the ground so that you can't see outside. That is spoiled with the Harry Potter castle. You can see that far away. And it's like, oh yeah.
Or at the highest point of Super Nintendo World, you could see a tiny bit of a Donkey Kong Country totem. In the distance, and it's like it's breathing out fog, and you're like, well, they've turned it on. Why can't they just? And the fact that if you go kind of like where that's clearly the entrance to Donkey Kong Country, but they have a tarp down,
and one person
just being like, no.
It did get kind of manic when you see the level that all staff are trying to like be like, hey, how are you, and smile and stuff,
looking great,
but seeing like a janitor emptying a bin and a kid walking by, and then the janitor like looking at the kid and doing a Mario pose, being like wahoo, and it's like, oh, like everyone has to do it.
It's a really good vibe, especially if you buy a Mario hat, they will always go, I think your hat is really cool.
That got to the point where
the constant positive reinforcement for the Nintendo brand on your body.
Oh, don't worry, I gave you my 5,000 yen already, buddy.
So there was a great one where Sinead and I were both wearing t-shirts that we had bought from the Nintendo Museum. So before we even got to Nintendo, there were staff being like, great t-shirt. And the first time it happened, I was like, oh, thanks. the fourth time, and I really, all right, you've been told to every time.
Yeah.
So if anyone watching this is having low self-esteem issues, and let's face it, you are,
Yeah.
go to Super Nintendo World, wear a Nintendo t-shirt and just walk around.
Yeah.
And you will be told a dozen times, you look great.
They will
But it's
praise
funny-
you
Although
for,
if someone does
for
that now
buying
and
the
they
merch.
don't get a single one of those, oh, I'm sorry.
So, but it's so funny how like
Probably because they were really, really ugly.
and it's
You
such a
simply
it's,
look like
it's such a petty feeling you get where you actually get like annoyed by it. Where when I went in, I got one of the little hairband things you get that had like a
Yes.
bob-omb on it.
Yeah, I know the
And
one.
like one person in the staff comments, and you're like, oh, thanks very much. And then like, you know, by the sixth time, and you're like, you're being fucking told to say that, all right?
told.
But the one
not
that the, one-
authentic
the one
anymore.
that really got me, and I was like laughing at how internally annoyed I got. In one of the shops, the person pointed at the bob-omb hat and went like, oh, very dangerous. And I was like, oh, that's cute, that's funny that they said very dangerous. And then I went to another shop an hour later and someone else went, very dangerous. And I was like, yous have been told exactly what to
Fucking
say.
Script.
Yeah.
It's a fucking script.
They've-
It's a farce.
yeah, it's who knew?
Everyone.
Who knew a theme park like blurred the lines of reality? Who knew? So there are 2.5 rides in Super Nintendo World. We have a Mario Kart ride,
Yeah.
which if you buy the Express Pass is the only way to attend that ride. Otherwise you're going to be queuing for 3 hours, buddy.
Did you queue for the Yoshi thing?
We did. And that ride aesthetically is very good. It is a 1-minute baby ride.
But we used our Express Pass for the Yoshi thing and did it first thing. And we liked
We
it.
were just straight on.
Yeah.
Did that.
We
Said,
liked it, and
okay.
we were actually still in the vibe of excitement of being there. You go in and it's all Yoshi, and we're like, oh, this is fun.
Yeah, because they really do Yoshi's story, Yoshi's
Yeah,
Island
it was
super
nice.
well.
But we enjoyed it, but we did all collectively say like, I would not have queued for that. If we queued 3 hours for that, I would have been really.
My advice is that since the Donkey Kong section is open by the time this video releases, do not go on the Yoshi ride at all. That would be my advice.
Okay, so you've got the Mario Kart ride. It uses AR. I was kind of mixed on it in that it looks very good. It does not have the speed and momentum of Mario
Yeah,
Kart.
it felt pretty.
It's just sort of meandery.
I felt that I was spending the
It's
whole time.
got some great build up.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's certainly lots of build up. Yes, you're queuing for fucking ages.
Yeah.
And I did like all the fake product placement that they have in Mario Kart 8 anyway.
But I just wanted to not look at the AR stuff because all the physical stuff on the ride was really impressive.
Yeah.
But I was kind of like,
I found the field
there
of
is-
vision with the AR wasn't good enough either.
and there was so much
Yeah.
happening. If it calmed down a bit and gave me like 2 targets at a time to shoot at, but it felt like
Yeah.
there are 8 things
Yeah.
flying
No.
around my vision at all times.
Did your team win?
Yes.
Our team won, and it was very important that we won a Mario Kart. Because losing a Mario Kart,
But
you may as
also-
well, like, just throw the game out.
We won, but also I wasn't quite sure why I won.
Yeah, there's not much technical skill to
I
it.
feel like I would have to go on that ride 3 times before I
actually
actually
under-
knew what I was doing.
To like register what's going on.
Yeah, and it just seems really unusual. Okay, a Mario Kart ride. Well,
Yeah.
we all know what that's
Yeah.
going to be like, and it's not going to be complicated.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why I don't understand the Mario Kart ride.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, that's not...
It's weird as well that the way it works, you're wearing an AR helmet. You're moving your head around to aim at things, but then you're like, what's that over there? I'm like, oh right, I've just missed the thing I looked at because I've
Yeah.
looked over there. It seems weird that they didn't just have like a kart racing thing and called it Mario.
Just do bumpers.
Yeah, just bumper cars, yeah.
I do appreciate that every single thing had a game element.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
Like,
yeah. So
every ride, even the Yoshi thing, there
Press
was
the
a
egg.
yeah,
game.
yeah, Spot 3 eggs.
Yeah,
Fucking
yeah.
love
Even
finding eggs.
looking through the binoculars had a gameplay
So
thing.
one thing that I did love, the fact that it had the little app where there was like find the 10 stamps or whatever.
I bought the watch that doesn't tell the time. It's just an NFC watch. You kind of have to buy that thing to get
Yeah,
the full
you do.
experience.
You do.
But that's more money on top of.
Well,
the-
Owen found out the hard way because we went in being like, you don't need it. It's
yeah,
fine.
No, you do.
I didn't buy the wristband,
Yeah.
and when going into the Bowser Jr., it's like we have all the keys into the Bowser Jr. bit. The guy at the front of it saw that I didn't have the wristband, but went, I go on anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
Come on,
Like,
buddy.
once we were in, like moments before the actual game begun, a different staff member saw I didn't have the thing. I was like, you don't get to play.
Yeah, and he was like, oh, and you stand over
It's
here.
just like, you get back there. It's like, all right, I'll just film it happening.
There was also
You're
that
just
one
gonna
time
spectate
we
it.
went into the queues for one of those mini games where we all showed our wristbands, and then the woman spotted that you didn't have a wristband. I went, oh, and then she did like one of those passive aggressive choking motions, like, oh.
Oh.
You cheapskate, you.
Yeah.
You're supposed to buy a hat and think you're cool.
We queued a long time for peach flavored popcorn, but it was it tastes like peach.
Did you go to the cafe or anything, or did you just go to like eat Nintendo food outside of Nintendo?
we did the
we
cafe.
ate pretty much everything we could at
Because
the...
we
Yeah,
had
actually.
Mario pancakes, but we had them out in like a fake USA street.
We did do everything. We did the Yoshi fucking
The green shell calzone filled with yakisoba and cheese.
yeah.
Wow.
From Yoshi's Snack Island.
Yeah, that was all right.
Did you eat at Toad's
No, because
Grease Pit?
they needed at that point it had been booked out for the day, and you needed to have had a reservation
Oh right.
either the day before or early that morning.
I had the teriyaki chicken and superstar rice. It tasted like what it is, which is a meal that has to be made 10,000 times every single day.
Yeah.
It did not excite, it did not disappoint, it just hit fine.
There's a game where it's the bit in Mario where it's
Boom,
like
boom,
bip,
boom,
bip,
boom,
bip,
boom,
bip,
boom.
bip, bip.
I balls this up so bad.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I got
I was-
4 perfect stars, no problem, and it was great because I was watching loads of people in the queue ahead of me being all shite.
It's
and not
really
being
hard
able
to
do
time
it.
them.
No.
It's
no,
like
not
you watch
actually.
other people doing it and you think, why are they not doing this? It's the easiest thing in the world. But then you're in front of it and it's taking up your entire vision. This
Yeah, it's a
screen,
big
and you
screen.
and you just suddenly...
The reason I did so amazingly is because when I was up there, I was panicking like I've never panicked. I was looking at things like, you cannot fuck this up. If you fuck this up, you're dead. So I was having like everything around me went silent. Dum, 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 dum.
You just went into full gamer mode.
Yeah. It is funny queuing for like a pretty long time, getting the 4 things and nailing it. And then the staff person just being like, cool, well done. And then you're like, yeah, cheers. And then you're like, right.
Is this all there is? You see, you plateaued.
I did plateau.
For all of Super Nintendo World's faults, of which there are many, the advantage it has over Super Nintendo Museum
Yeah.
is that if you're not having a good time, you're 2 minutes away from Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't say that about the museum. You can't
That's
say,
true.
I'm not enjoying this, I'll go to Jurassic Park. Well, forget it.
Yeah.
That's miles away. Folks, the Super Nintendo World and the Super Nintendo Museum,
Yeah.
final thoughts. What's better? What if someone was only going to one of them, what would you say to them? Pros, cons, all the wrap-up stuff.
I'd recommend the museum because there's no buggies.
Oh,
Well, there is one buggy, but it's behind glass.
There is.
That's true, yeah. Right now, I would recommend the Nintendo Museum, but I think Nintendo World has the potential.
You think, like, when this video
I don't think they're going to
comes
do
out-
much more with the museum. I feel like that's what it's going to be.
Okay,
for
okay. Like the museum's only gonna get worse over time because they're not gonna maintain it or something. Because like it was cool going into a building that's like only been open a month and being like,
Yeah.
it's all clean and fresh. Except for, do you know the way after the Miyamoto autograph, there's 5 toads and you can hit them on the head, but a staff member went, the middle toad, don't hit him too hard in the head because the head's a bit loose. And I was like, you've been open 4 weeks, buddy. How is the toad already broken?
I'm hitting that toad as hard as I can.
I think if you're like really interested in video games and Nintendo, the Nintendo Museum is probably the better experience. If you don't really give a shite about any of that, which is fair enough, Nintendo World is probably better because it's just like, you can get a bit of popcorn.
Yeah, no, the popcorn's good. You get that big Mario Kart bucket.
Like I was thinking, like if you went to the Nintendo Museum and you didn't care about Nintendo at all, you're not walking out of there being like, I better get into.
Yeah, the museum is definitely for people who are already in
Yeah,
the van.
yeah.
In Miyamoto's van.
But most people watching this video, most of the worms that watch this kind of
Slugs.
stuff, would probably like the Nintendo Museum a bit better.
If you're on a budget, I'd recommend just go into some retro game shops and have a look at the
Yeah,
showcase.
I would. Yeah,
Don't go to either.
Just go to
buy some
Acme.
Nintendo games.
Do you know what?
Super Smash Brothers, check that out.
it's got everyone in it.
Check out the trophy case in Super Smash. Some bits did kind of remind me of Super Smash Brothers. I was like, I've read these descriptions for trophies in Smash Brothers, or this is an amiibo I already own.
Actually, Nintendo World, not a single Wario in sight. The only characters you would see around were the ones that you could buy wristbands of. Because there's a whole thing there of like, are you Team Toad or Team Daisy or
Team Daisy kept winning on the app as well. Do you notice it? Like fucking Daisy fans are weird.
Yeah.
The fact that there wasn't even Wario stuff in the gift shop, like little things.
Yeah.
Mario is already such a clean franchise, but it was like the cleanest version of what's already.
So
a
like
clean
bad
franchise.
Mario is not present.
Yeah. No one wants to explain the farting man.
Whereas on the other hand, the farting man.
With the German accent.
That's his
I really hope-
tarot card.
I really hope that when they do have Wario coming out, like one of the mascot suits,
he stinks.
that he stinks. Like people are actually like avoiding
like
him.
it smells like fart from the back and
That's how
garlic
they.
from the
That's how
front.
they. When they need
He
to.
should come in on the motorbike as well.
That's actually great if they ever need to clear a crowd because they need to clean
Wario
up.
should be the closing time. Like when you put mistletoe and wine on.
Yeah.
Did
Wario
you
comes
get
out.
to interact with any of the costume
Didn't
characters?
bother because
The Peach was really good because her hair was actual style, like a giant wig that had been styled
Oh, wow.
into the like spokes.
Yeah.
With the curl, with the licks, and the Toad is really good because it's clearly a person who's like 4'10".
we did see
Like,
the
I
Toad.
hobbling
really liked
along.
when Toad came out, and it was so nice to see Toad being mobbed by like, so cute, oh so like people
Yeah.
really glad to see Toad, because in my mind, if someone comes out dressed as Toad, everyone batters them. Like, or just like shoves them around. It's like, oh, it's Toad.
So, on the other hand, the Nintendo Museum had a little Wario corner.
Well, thank you very much for bringing your expertise to this video. There definitely would have been none without you. So, Brian, Sean, thank you so much. And I think everyone watching now knows which is better, the Super Nintendo world that existed in the past, but not anymore, or Nintendo Museum,
Yeah.
Or neither.
or neither.
Yeah.
Don't go to either.